Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, right at 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And yes, it's Saturday, and I'm out here. So what does that mean? It's AMA. Of course it is. It's AMA time. So as always, I was thinking, what could I start this AMA with? And I saw two things, I think, that kind of hit me back to back. Usually, if only one thing hits me, I go, whatever, maybe. But when it hits me twice, then I say, this is something that maybe I should be talking about. And it's the idea that I feel, and you tell me if you think I'm wrong. I mean, clearly I'm right, but you can tell me if you think I'm wrong if you want to. It's a waste of time, but please do so. I'm happy to have you do that. I'm thinking that we, as Americans specifically, are becoming more and more accepting of, happy with, and even begging for authoritarianism, as long as it's our guy, right? So as long as it's my guy who's being the authoritarian, then it's fine, right? If my guy's king, then I'm happy to have a king. But if your guy's king, well, we can't have that. And I think I'm seeing more and more and more of that. And it's bothering me tremendously because I think more Americans are accepting of that. Now, there was always a small chunk of Americans who were happy with that. That was always a small chunk of us. That chunk's getting bigger. And you can see it everywhere, on the left and on the right and every place else. More Americans are being okay with this authoritarian piece. And it's very worrisome to me because it shows a desperation that bothers me tremendously. It shows that we just start to ignore things that we should have been worried about. That's the problem. So let me show you one piece that I saw. Two pieces I think got me, but this was one that was kind of interesting. That was kind of off topic, but on topic. All right. This is Patrick talking about Trump's new deals that he's made. This is what him talking about this. And he rarely is either pro or anti-Trump. He's sarcastic against everybody, but he's not either one.
In a move that rewrites the rules of American capitalism, NVIDIA and AMD have agreed this week to pay the US government 15% of the revenues from chip sales in China. Not as a tax or as a royalty, but as a price for permission to export recently restricted AI chips to China.
And yeah, I think this piece, am I necessarily angry at this specific deal? I'm not sure. Like, I don't know enough about it. I'm not necessarily mad at this deal. But the details behind it, how it was done, that's the problem. It's very similar to when I talk about DACA. Not that I didn't really mind DACA that much. I hated how it was done. But it wasn't done in a way that made any sense or that was going to stay. But I wasn't necessarily unhappy with pieces of it at all. This, I think, is very similar.
This is not a tariff. It's not a licensing fee. It's not even a penalty. It's a cut, a direct slice of corporate revenue handed to the federal government in exchange for the right to export.
But that's everything. I get what he's saying, and it sounds terrible, but is it any better than taxes? Is it any better than tariff? I mean, it's like, okay, why is that bad? This is why it's bad.
The deal, personally brokered by the president, applies to NVIDIA's H20 and AMD's equivalent AI chips.
That's the problem. That's the problem. The deal itself isn't necessarily a bad deal, but the point is it was made directly by Donald Trump and some companies. That's not how it's supposed to work, right? That's not how it's supposed to work. So basically now he just decides who and how. Now, prior to that, Trump has decided on tariffs. I'm just going to decide on tariffs. That's not how it's supposed to work either. Prior to that, he decides to bomb Iran. That's not how it's supposed to work either. They may go, Larry, why are you beating on Trump? I'm not. It's just because he's president. We go back to Biden, same thing, right? He decides who to bomb. He decides to support Ukraine. He decides the same thing. Presidents have been deciding this stuff forever. Now, Trump's pushing it further than others. That's absolutely true. He's pushing it further. And people aren't fighting back as much. The people who are fighting back aren't the people who don't like the fact that he's doing it. The people who are fighting back are the people who don't like Trump, which means if it was Biden doing it, they'd be okay with it. That's the problem. That is my issue. They're not going, wait a minute, Trump shouldn't be doing this because no president should do this. No. Trump shouldn't do it. Well, because it's not our guy doing it. Well, no, Trump shouldn't do it. Neither should Biden. Neither should anybody. No president should just be deciding this stuff on their own. But they do. And they keep doing that. The bombing, the tariffs, all these things. Now, I'm not going to be on Trump only. Definitely Trump's the worst here on this one. There's no question. He's not the worst. However, it's not just him. Now I got to go back to the next piece, which is you would think, well, okay, if it's bad, right? It's terrible because, Trump is doing it. Well, now I have Newsom doing it in California with the now he's deciding to do his own gerrymandering now. Remember that? That now is an okay thing now. This is now, and oh my God, they're happy as can be.
It is at this low point in Donald Trump's public support that he has chosen to try to rig congressional districts in Texas to give Republicans 5 more Republican seats in the House of Representatives so that Donald Trump can guarantee that Republicans will control the House of Representatives and he won't be impeached by the House of Representatives during this term of his presidency. There is only one state bigger than Texas, and that state has the power to crush Donald Trump's Texas plan for controlling the House of Representatives.
So he is happy that Newsom will now decide to just do the same thing. Again, Hochul will just do the same thing. And their answer is, what they will say is, we're fighting fire with fire. So he's authoritarian, so now we'll be authoritarian too. Neither of these are good. This is what's been bothering me recently. I'll go back down to Mamdani. You guys see what Mamdani, and this, again, MSNBC is happy as can be that Newsom is like, we're just going to do stuff. Happy as can be. Can't get enough, right? Add on Mamdani. Mamdani goes on and says, hey, I'm going to make all the changes in New York City. He has no power to do those. He'll do it anyway. He'll do it anyway. It's insane. So, anyway, I'm going to bring those pieces up. I'm going to grab a couple of super chats here. VA Lady, thank you so much for the $1.09. Larry got nuked and still came back and won on Are You Smarter Than a Politician? True, I did. For those of you who want to watch, that's still on my channel. If you look at the Sharpe Way channel from yesterday, you can also go over to that. I forgot the name of the channel. Someone will tell me. Anyway, you just go look for it. Are you smarter than a politician? I did get all of my points nuked away, about 3,000 points nuked, gone, and I still came back to win because I'm super cool, I think. But yes. So thank you for the $2, my VA. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. Let me grab a couple of more comments if I can. Vivek says, how far do you think we are from a deal with Russia/Ukraine war? Will Putin get everything he wants in a deal because he has the leverage? Generally speaking, yes. And I've said this, I'm on record saying this from 3 years ago. Maybe, I don't know how many years ago. This war was going to end the same way no matter what. I've said it on multiple shows, multiple times. We stretched it out and hundreds of thousands of people killed and wounded, maybe millions, I don't even know, but surely hundreds of thousands. And Putin's going to get at least 4/5 of what he wants, at least, if not all, not 100% of what he wants. And he's not going to pay reparations. And Ukraine's not joining NATO. That's what he wanted. It's going to happen. We can keep fighting, but yes. Do I think it's closer? I think, yes, it is closer because I think Trump has figured this out. His people have told him, look, you can't. There's no way. You just can't. It's not going to work. Putin has no reason to stop fighting. Except he's losing men, but he's been losing men for the Russians, excuse me, have always believed since Ivan that war is simply another arm of diplomacy, of politics. That's all it is. And there will be soldiers who will pay the price. And they believe that forever, and they haven't stopped. So yeah, I think he's gonna get what he wants. I do. Mike says this was the first talk where Putin showed up. No one lead in the world can get Putin to even talk peace. This means it was a good sign. Sabotage. Nah, stop with your Republican talking points, Mike. Stop. Don't listen to Mike. Republican talking points, not true. Don't get me wrong. The left is gonna act like the left's gonna act like Trump got crushed. He got destroyed. Trump did not get destroyed, and Putin but Trump did not win either. That Republicans gonna tell you Trump made it happen or whatever. Not true at all. Putin completely got what he wanted. But Trump didn't get destroyed either. Trump got there, wanted to know what he had to do. Now he knows what he has to do. Hopefully he'll do it. But no, this was not a Trump victory. This was a Trump draw. And it was a Putin win. There's no doubt it was. And Republicans will tell you the opposite, and Democrats tell you opposite. They're both just giving you talking points. It's not true. So yeah. Michael's going to say, so to answer the titular question, America accepts a strong leader with a focused plan. And not with the focused plan part. A lot of Americans are accepting leaders with a plan. I mean, it's better if it's focused. I'm with you on that one, Mike. It's better, but I'm not sure. It needs to be focused. And this, I guess, goes down to my point. Why would Americans who traditionally have been very much against kings and leaders and authoritarians, right? Why would they be changing? Brother, because we're desperate. Because so many of us are unhappy. Because so many of us are not getting what we want. That we just want anybody who's got a plan. So I agree with you. A focused plan is better. But I think Americans are taking anybody who's just got a plan and says they're going to be strong and do something. We want our problems to be solved, and the system hasn't been working. The problem is we have created so much layered bureaucracy in a feeble attempt to control, to manipulate, to hold onto the market, to do all these dumb things that we keep trying to do, to show some value that we don't need to be showing. We keep doing it. So it just makes everything harder so nothing can get done. It's the old thing I keep saying. No one's responsible for yes, everyone's responsible for no. So they keep saying no. No one's incentivized to move forward. They're incentivized to hold back. So they hold back. So now nothing gets done. So now when some leader says, we're going to move forward. How many times does the leader show up and go, we're going to suspend these regulations because it's an emergency? Well, then why did they exist in the first place? Because. So yeah, I think it's again, I agree, better focused plan, but no. I think it's just plan. People just want to plan. Mamdani's a perfect example. People are loving him here. And I mean, you and I both know, Mike, his plans aren't great, but they're plans. And he's a strong leader. He's going to get Cuomo, going to get Trump. He's that. So he says, Sid that does not describe any Democrat progressive. I just did. It's Mamdani. But media lies. You playing Republican talking points, Mike. Not true. Kim says, I think people have been dumbed down and infected with fear to the point that they think it's the way to be. Yes, Kim, you hit it correctly. They are worried about nothing getting done. They were afraid of the other, right? Oh, I have to take Trump because then the evil leftists will get me, or I've got to get Mamdani or the evil fascists will get me. I think you're right. I think they go back and forth because of fear on top of it. So nothing's getting done, and I'm afraid. So I'll take a king. That's true. Yes. So, all righty. I'll grab some more. Patty, to quote Rage Against the Machine, F no, I won't do what you tell me. That's my attitude. I won't speak for anyone else. Nice. I like that. Mike's busting my balls. Amazing. I was on time. I was. Yes. My day was trashed today, which has given me more space. I had a funeral today. So I had time. And then my daughters took off, so I had time. So there we go. Today I had time, not for good reason, but I did have time today. So there we go. Yeah. So Derek says, nope. I think we are, Derek. I think we are. I think you're incorrect on this one. I think Americans are more and more accepting of authoritarianism. I think Americans, I mean, when I say we, I mean Americans as a nation. Clearly I'm not, but I think If we're going to move our country, and I want to do that, we're going to have to understand what the country is, right? I can't get someone from A to B unless I know where A is. And I think right now the country's moving towards authoritarianism. Smite says Democrats, Republicans are just different flavors of authoritarianism. True. That is accurate. That's a big problem. I agree. I showed you someone on the left and on the right, both happy with their guy doing the bad thing, right? If your guy does the thing, it's bad. If my guy does the thing, it's good. Yeah. So, all righty. Patty says, I've accepted the fact that I will most likely end up jailed or gone before he's out of office. Why do you think that? I hope you're wrong, Patty. I don't like that. Max Libertarian says, what is the link to your store for the t-shirts? Guys, if you want to come check out my stuff, you can if you want to. Head over to Zazzle. And Zazzle, and type in Larry Sharpe. You can see any of my merch or Sharpe Way, either one. Sharpe Way for Sharpe Way merch, Larry Sharpe for Larry Sharpe merch. Please enjoy if you want to. If you want to grab any of my merch, please. There's Sharpe Way mugs, Sharpe Way shirts, Larry Sharpe shirts. Yes, absolutely. We're actually considering making some new Larry Sharpe shirts coming up here. Why would we do that? I don't know. Can't figure out a reason why I would do that. So Michael says, nothing you can say will take me away from my guy. Sadly true. Derek goes on to say, but I will say this, Larry, I've been around the country, even DC. These cities need to be fixed and cleaned up. Well, this is one of the biggest problems, Derek. This is where that concept, which, by the way, they're right on the concept. The Democrats came out with that book called Abundance. Some of you may have known what that book is about. It's basically about Democrats admitting their problems in cities, which is they have created so much bureaucracy that nothing can get done. That's a great concept. Conceptually, they're correct. How do you actually fix it? They don't want to, because you have to then break down all the rules they've made, which they like. This is a problem, right? If you're establishment, why would I want change? I'm establishment. I'm doing just fine. I don't want real change. I'm establishment, right? So yes. So what winds up happening? You have to cut through everything. So there has to be an emergency. Something has to collapse. The problem is once the things collapse, we just put the rules back in place. If the rules collapse, just collapse the rules. End them. End them. So yes. So, all righty. Michael says he's so dreadfully boring, this Brit. He does sometimes have some good deadpan humor here or there. Some of those he should. Sometimes. Yeah. James says, yes, and it worries me. It's why we need a third party that can be seen as having a chance to win. Yes. Look, I will very often tell you third party is the answer. Why? Because third party is usually the answer. What the two parties do is they re-push the left-right narrative and validate everything. You saw with Mike immediately went to Republican talking points, right? You see it with the guy just showed you. Geez, what's his name? The Democrat guy, from MSNBC. Hardball guy. Chris Matthews? That wasn't him. Whatever that guy. They're all the same guy. Whatever that guy. And he immediately goes to, Newsom is great. Newsom's awesome. He was right to Democratic talking points. Well, of course it's okay to be authoritarian because the other guys are evil. So I'm justified. I can justify my actions because the other guys are evil. The other guys are un-American. The other guys are terrorists. The other guys are whatever, right? The other guys are the thing, the one-word story you've been talking about all the time, which authorizes me to be an authoritarian. Yes, of course it does. So now I get to fight and push my guy in place. Third party changes that. Excuse me, because it creates a referee. It creates a referee, and now if I hate one, I don't have to vote for the other. If I hate one, I have an option or a choice. That change. The hate doesn't work as well. And you see that often with ranked choice voting. You see it with both of those things. It's much better. So Heo says, I wonder how much they're paying Trump under the table. You know, I got to tell you, I feel the one thing I like about this thing is what I like about what Trump is doing. It's going to sound weird, but the thing I like about what Trump is doing is he's just doing it. There probably isn't much on the table at all. I mean, they gave him a plane, right? I don't think there's much on the table. I think much of this is just straight up. Like, here it is. Take it. Just take it. I'm not sure much is on the table. So, yes. Pragmatic says, you don't know that. I don't know what I don't know. Guys, if you guys want me to respond, I don't know if Pragmatic is talking to me or not. If you are, please let me know what you want me to respond to, because remember, I read this later on. I don't always read it at exactly the same time. So Pragmatic, if you're still watching, please let me know what I don't know, if it's for me, right? If it's not, I get it. So yes. Pragmatic says, anyone see this? Well, yes, I just saw it. There we go. All righty. Let's see here. Liberty says, also on Are You Smarter Than a Politician last night, Larry got nuked and still won. Does that happened before? Yep. Getting nuked and winning the game. True. I made history in that game. That's true. So there we go. Pragmatic. Are you upset? So how much do you pay for nothing? Oh, all right. I don't know. Pragmatic then goes on to say, I get recognized or I'm gone. Okay, go. What? Are you so awesome? I don't know. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Okay, give me a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He did literally, and then said 0. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed your time. I don't know. Were you trying to flex? That wasn't the flex. I don't know if you were trying to flex, but it didn't work. I don't know. Pragmatic. Come back and flex again. Show me the guns. Flex. I don't mind. Let me see if I keep going down here. All righty. Mike says, Dems are happy about Newsom and gerrymandering because they're at 33% approval and nothing for voters to look forward to. I think I'd be happy either way, dude. I don't know. I think you're adding to things that don't matter. In other words, they would support Newsom doing this whether they were at 10% approval or 100% approval, right? Because now Newsom's fighting Orange Man, and they love that. I think you just put them together. They don't need to be together. It does what that approval rating is irrelevant. They would love it either way. They would just love it. You know this. Every time a Democrat goes, I'm going to take on Trump, Dems love that every time. Ryan says Republicans are more acceptable to authoritarianism if their party does it, and the same is true for the Dems. It's just sad that this country's in. Yes. If anything that Trump's doing now, the only reason why Democrats are mad at it is because Trump is doing it. If Biden was doing it, they'd be happy with it. And Republicans, same way. Republicans are totally happy with what Trump's doing. If Biden was doing it, they'd be hating it. Or Harris, whoever, they'd be hating it. I completely agree. Yes. My guy can do it. Your guy can't. Your guy can't. All right. Let's see here. I want to go over to Rumble if I can. Let's see. Peace is there. How are you, Peace? Liberty Otter says, I think authoritarianism adds to polarization. Yep. But I think it's chicken and egg. In other words, as I become more authoritarianistic, maybe that's the right word, right? Because of the polarization, I validate my monarchy because security or existential threat or he's a fascist or whatever, right? So I think they go together, right? They go together. Liberty continues and says, it's not merely that person A and B disagree, but it's that person A voting away B's rights. Extra tension. Yes. Agreed. 100%. All righty. O'Donnell. Is that who he is? All right. Yes. It's a joke. True. Yes. Also accurate. Scientific Libertarian says, you were on AYSTAP. I'm going to call it ASTAP. You were on ASTAP. I love that show. You were there too. And you also got nuked. So there we go. There we go. Kim says, how do you get nuked? I got some dumb rule. You like nuke people or something. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't even know it was a thing. Like the game is like they make rules and I talk trash and then I still win. That's the game. I don't know how that's how the game works, right? They make rules that I don't understand. I just say what I want to say. I get nuked and then I still win. That's the rules, I think, or something close to that. I don't know. So yeah. Oh, literally explains it. Kim, a previous guest has the power to nuke someone's points to 0 if they're in a chat. Technically, Larry has that power now. Oh, I can start nuking people now. See that? I probably won't, but I could. Yeah, I probably could. So, Missy says, highlight your question or comment for Larry to read live with a super chat. It moves you to first in line. Thanks. She's right. You should listen to Missy. She's correct. But not only should you do that, you should also click the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo. Yes, that button, the like one. Click that button because if you click that button, people will notice. YouTube will notice. Facebook will notice. Twitter will notice. Instagram will they'll notice. They like those little clicky buttons when you click the little like button. They like that a lot. So please do it. They like it. You like it. Click it. It does matter. Please do so. But remember something else. I'm also on Spotify. So you're like, Larry, I love listening to you. I would like to listen to you more, but sometimes I can't watch your insanely handsome face. Okay, I get it. Sometimes you can't do that, but you could listen on Spotify if you wanted to. If you do so, please give me a 5-star rating. Why? Because I deserve it. That's the reason. If you don't think that, then lie to me and give me a 5-star rating anyway. I'll take a lie. I'm okay with that. Lie to me. I don't want to know. By the way, that was a pretty good show. There was a show called Lie to Me. So yes. Anyway, and also please share, repost this now if you would. I appreciate the share anytime you can. And as always, if you can super chat or rant me on Rumble, either one of those are both good. If you watch me on Rumble, which I am on Rumble, you can rant me there, or you can super chat me. Other than you can do if you want to is become a member. Members are $49 per month. Click that join button. And the best part about being a member, there's lots of great issues about being a member, but here's the number one. Number one is member show September 5th. September 5th, about 3 weeks from now, member show. You can come on with me on a member show. It doesn't mean only members can watch it. No, does not mean that. It means that you will be on the show with me physically. Yes, I'm going to post it coming up here on the member post coming up here in about a day or two. And I'll post it up and you let me know. I'll reach out to you and you'll come on a show and you'll be with me on a member show. Look at that. And people might call you names. You won't like it so much when I call you names, will you? Just saying. You might still like it. I don't know. Either way, click the like button, no matter what's going on. All right, let me keep going down here if I can. All righty, I have so many of these. All righty. Okay. Michael says, Larry, land swap still in play. I think Ukraine still controls a tiny part of Kursk Oblast. I think they're going to have to be some symbolic swaps. Yes. I think they're going to have to be some type of symbolic swaps. The reality of it is the vast majority of the land is going to go to Russia that they want. And that was never going to stop, right? And it was never going to stop. But will there be some form of probably symbolic, like the Ukrainians will withdraw out of the small parts of Kursk or something? I think that's true. But either way, look, the reality of it is right now, unless something crazy happens, Russia's winning this war right now. America will, the only way that will change is if either the Americans really decide that's it, we're going all in. And look, Trump could do that if there's some reason. I wouldn't put that past Trump. He could do it. I don't think he will, because I think Trump honestly wants a Nobel Peace Prize. I do. I think he wants one. And I think that's one of the reasons why he got involved. And I was wondering why he got involved in like Vietnam and like, why do you get involved in like Cambodia, like Thailand? Why do you get involved in those places? Like, why do you do that? Right? Like, why do you get involved? Oh, okay. That's why. Why do you get involved in like, I don't know, Rwanda and Congo? Those wars have been going on forever. Why do you get involved in that? I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that's it. So I think he does want one. So I think he'll do what's required because I think he actually does want one. So yes. Let's see here. Mike, everything I said was true. No, yeah, that was opinion. Stop that, Mike. That was opinion. Ryan says the amount of people who say that Trump should never meet with Putin is alarming. Their argument is mind-boggling. Correct. Yes, absolutely true. It is very important that America and Russia talk. I think it was smart what Trump did. He should be talking to Putin. Mike says nobody could have got Putin to meet or whatever. That's Mike's opinion. He says it's true. It's his opinion. Doesn't mean it's true, right? Some of the reasons why Putin doesn't go places, some people have threatened to have him arrested. Some people have threatened that. You could just go, you're not going to be arrested, and he'd show up. So yes, he's happy. Putin's happy to go around the world being a cool guy. He's done it before. Did he go to Saudi Arabia? Is that right? I forgot where he went. Anyway, he went to some place just recently. So he goes to the places. He leaves his country. He goes to the places. This is only America, right? He goes where he's not going to get arrested and where he can look good. That's where he goes. So yeah. But I agree. We should always be talking. We should be talking to everyone, including our enemies. Always. Of course, we should be talking. The argument's always dumb. He's a bad guy. Evil Putin. These are stupid arguments. It's the same dumb argument. You're totally right. Here's the problem. If you say that, people go, he's a killer, he's a murderer. Okay. Let's say you're right. He actively ordered the murder and whatever. Fine. Okay. Is something going to happen to him? He's going to go up on trial? No. I told you all this like years ago. You hear the people go, it's an illegal war. No such thing. That shit you made up. War is legal if the people who waged it win. War is illegal if the people who waged it lose. That's how they decide if it's legal or not. You may not like that. You may go, but there's law. No one gives a shit. No one's arresting Putin. That's not going to happen. Why aren't they arresting Netanyahu? If he wins and keeps winning his elections and winning stuff, he ain't getting none out of them either. You be mad all you want. It's illegal. No one cares. It's shit you made up. The concept of this, like there's some righteous court someplace that matters. That shit we made up. The UN does not have that kind of power. The great powers run the world. I wish it wasn't true, but it is. It's just true. Putin ain't going to jail. No one's arresting him. You can call him whatever you want. That's not going to happen. If he wins this war, his war was legal. If he loses this war, his war was illegal. That's how the world actually works. So let's just talk to people so we can try to fix things so people don't die. And we stop worrying about what's illegal or not. Well, we don't want to talk to them because it's illegal. That's stupid. Just talk to them and stop the war. Do you think the people in Ukraine who have their houses blown up? You think the people in Russia who have their kids die? Go, well, no, it's okay because the war's legal. So I don't care if my kid's dead. I don't care if my house is blown up. I don't care if I lose my arm or leg because the war is illegal or whatever stupid shit you think. It doesn't matter. This is stuff people talk about, which is useless. I would like people to not lose their legs, people to not have their house blown up, and people to not lose their children. Illegal or legal doesn't matter. That's just stuff we make up to try to, I don't know, sell newspapers if we sell them anymore or get clicks online or whatever. I don't know. None of that shit matters. That's not how the world works. That's naivete. And I hear it constantly, particularly from the left. Illegal war. Is this legal war? What legal war have we been in the past, I don't know, 50 years, 100 years? What legal war were we in? When we bombed Iran, was that legal? No. Well, yes, it was, because we won. Sorry. It was because we won. My point exactly. We won. We beat the Iranians, so it's legal. How about when we bombed Yugoslavia? Was that legal? Yeah, because we won. How about invasion of Afghanistan? We lost that. I guess it's illegal. Or was it legal? We're America, so whatever we do is legal because we're America. Where was our declaration of war for Afghanistan? Nowhere. How about for Iraq? Nowhere. How about bombing Iran? Where was our UN charter? Where was our declaration of war? Nowhere. We just did it. But we're worried about this other one? It's all garbage. History is written by the victors. And the illegal war, who wins? That's how it works. Russia's going to win this war. The war's legal. You can be mad at me if you want. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. Anyway. All right. Joel says the left disinformation bunch are claiming Trump is trading parts of Alaska to Russia for peace. People believing this. Of course, because Orange Man bad. So of course Trump's trading Alaska. Oh my God. I hope you're joking, Joel. That's terrible. I hope you're joking. I believe, but no, you know what? Someone will believe that. Because again, this is my point. He's an existential threat. Trump's an existential threat. So yeah, absolutely. Liberty Lady says, my congressman loves war. He trades Raytheon stock instead of being a representative of his district. Well, it's a lot more lucrative, I think. So yeah. Derek says, at the end of the day, Larry, if Trump and Putin are still talking and going to meet again, it's a start in the right direction. Agreed. And that's my point. You look at both sides. The Republicans are acting like Trump did the greatest thing. Well, he didn't. And the Democrats like Trump got his ass kicked. Not true. Trump had to figure out what to do. He showed up with this guy. And what he did was give Putin a spotlight on purpose. Now, people didn't like it. And I get it. It doesn't feel good. That's true. It doesn't feel good. That's accurate. It doesn't feel good giving Putin a spotlight does not feel good. That is true. But Trump did it. Why did he do it? Because Trump hates the spotlight? No. Because Trump's like, how do I get this guy to stop this goddamn war? I'm going to give him a spotlight. We're going to see what happens. That's what he did. Now, is it working? I don't know. I hope it does. I've been saying this literally for months. I have been saying, I hope Trump can end this war. I said early on, he can't do it in 24 hours. That was garbage. I said he might be able to do it this year. If anyone can, it's him. Why? Again, the thing that people don't like about Trump, and I get why people don't like it, but in this case, it is an advantage. He is transactional. he is transactional. So since he's transactional, he could, if anyone can end this war, it's him. If this war can be ended, it is through him. That's true. I don't know if he can end it. I don't know if it can be ended. To be forward, I don't know if he can. I hope he does. So yes. Patty says politics, the best liars win. God, I don't want it to be true. But yeah, I don't want it to be true. I hate when you're right, Patty. You know that, right? You know I hate when you're right. Excuse me. Dave says Putin was never going to stop fighting. No, I don't think that never. I do not think, I honestly don't think that Putin wants all of Ukraine. I don't think that. I think Putin wants to make Ukraine a rump state, and he wants to make it a buffer state, just like Belarus. I do not think he wants to control the entire thing. I think he wants to make it to where it's a small rump state like Belarus that just buffers the Russia proper against the West. That is what I think he wants. He's kind of said that. So I think in his best case, it's a small rump state of Ukraine with like 10, 15 million people in it, whatever, something like that. And that kind of puppet state just kind of buffers him from the rest of the West. That's what I think he actually wants. I don't think he wants to control all of Ukraine. That's my gut. It seems to make sense. That's what I think. So Dave goes on to say, Putin can keep fighting as long as there are North Koreans, Chinese, and other foreigners, including Americans, that are stupid enough to fight for Russian. But it's not stupid, though. I've been telling you guys this for a long time. This is not stupid. The Ukraine war is the current best training ground for modern day warfare. Not even close. There is nothing that's close enough to that. Syria is not close enough. Africa isn't close enough, right? Africa is not bad. Syria is not really close. Syria is much more insurgency. Africa has some, but they got their butt kicked there too. But anyway, some. Best place to train, to bloody your troops. If you're North Korea, you want your troops there. This is not dumb. It's just smart. Excuse me, guys. I'm still getting rid of this cold I had. Oh, it's lingering. So it's the best place to be. If I was leader of China, I am happily, eagerly sending my troops to fight in this war. Absolutely. I want an entire non-commissioned officer corps of thousands of troops who fought here. So yeah, yes, you are correct, but it's not because of stupidity. Yes, it is because they want to. Again, sadly, for us as Americans, we don't know how to fight this war. That's why us training Ukrainian troops has been almost useless. We don't even know how to fight. The surviving Ukrainians are better at training Ukrainians than we are because they've been in it. They know how to fight this war. They've been in it. The Russians are becoming amazing. They're mercenary. They're going to be mercenary trainers throughout the entire world from this. You see Russian mercenary trainers everywhere after this. Ukrainians too. They're going to leave and become mercenary trainers in the Middle East, in Africa, Southeast Asia. You see them going everywhere from this. This is actually a smart move for people who want to understand warfare. So yes, but not because stupid. That's all I'll say. Not because stupid. All right. Let's see here. Phil, thank you for $2. Occupation is tough. CIA wanted a guerrilla war. Yeah. I don't think he wants it either, right? Him having to occupy Western Ukraine would be that CIA civil war, right? I don't think Putin wants that. He'd rather just keep the areas that are more Russian, cleanse the areas that aren't. I think he would do that and push those people out and then make Ukraine a rump state. That makes sense to me. So, yes. All righty. Let's see here. I'm going to grab some more of these. There's so many of these here. All right. Joel says, when we get our 15-minute cities, all our needs we met, people will be amazed how little personality. There we go. See, we will own nothing and be happy. Joel gets it. We'll own nothing and be happy. Yes. Okay. Excuse me. Jay says, I just talked to a friend who's moving to Hawaii for a financial career opportunity because of overbearing student loans. Hawaii. Good luck with that. Michael says, boogeymen on both sides of the aisle. Absolutely. Yes. John says they accept more authoritarianism because politics has become more team-oriented. That's my point. Both sides. Yes, absolutely. But it is everywhere, right? It is everywhere. Yeah. Here we go, Dave. Yes. Thank you for quoting one of the greatest war historians ever, von Clausewitz, of course, a German. War is the continuation of politics by other means. Von Clausewitz. Yes. Politics is the continuation of war by other means. One of my college professors. Cute. I like that. That's cool. Yep. Ryan, thank you for the $5, my friend. Any updates on the JFK files? I got my own theory on what happened on a dark day in Dallas. I have not paid attention to that at all. I just assumed the deep state got rid of him. I just assumed that. That's been my assumption the entire time. I've never not thought that. And I still think that. He was actually trying to make some real change, and they were like, no. No. That's what I actually think. Yeah. After the Bay of Pigs, I think that was the end. That's when because he wanted to get rid of them, and they wanted to get rid of him. And he was not as aggressive as they were. If it had been me, I would have struck first. I don't mean to be cruel. I would have struck first. They would have been if I was president and they had lied me into the Bay of Pigs, and I've been dumb enough to either do it or from what they say he was fooled into doing it. Oh, everyone's getting arrested. Everyone's getting arrested. You can see everyone's getting arrested. Seizing assets. Yeah, we're purging. We're purging the CIA at that point. Yeah. Stalin would blush. Stalin like, damn, we did. Stalin would do that. Yes, that's how bad it would be. 100%. Yes. All righty. Smite says, I'm worried about the rise in Christian nationalism. Are my worries warranted? Depends on what you see coming from that, because I think it is happening. And I think it's happening for a similar reason. Similar reasons. And it falls back to the number one piece, which people don't talk about, which I talk about constantly, no one else does. Happiness. Yes. Remember, happy people don't want authoritarians. Happy people don't want socialism. Happy people don't want any of these things. Unhappy people do. And when people are unhappy, they want answers. They want things to be solved. And you know what actually happens? The harsher and more strict a religion is, the more it gives answers. And you may not like to hear that, but it's true. You can see it in America right now, right? What's the fastest growing religion across the entire world, including America? Islam. And not just regular, like run-of-the-mill Islam, more stringent, strict Islam. It is. In fact, women are going faster than men. I did a whole show on it. I showed data and I showed receipts. It's absolutely true. Now, when it comes to Christianity, what's the fastest growing Christian sects? Eastern Orthodox and Catholicism, the stricter of the religions. The more relaxed religions, like most Protestant religions, they're failing. You know who is also growing in America by leaps and bounds? The Amish. I wish I was joking. It's true. So you're right. Christian nationalism does give answers. It does give structure. It gives purpose. It provides what our current political environment, what our current culture is not providing. It absolutely fills a gap. So are you worried about it growing? Is it wanted? Yes, it is growing. Yes, 100%. Now add authoritarianism. I guess you better put your cross on, brother. So I'm telling you, better find yourself a cross. I'm already Eastern Orthodox, so I'm good. I don't know if you are, Smite. You might have to get a little. You might have to head over to the church, get a little holy water put on you. I'm just saying, you might have to. But yeah, I'm already Eastern Orthodox. I'm good already. So, any case, I think there is an issue. I think there is concern. Yes. Dave says Putin wants a small Ukrainian military. Putin wants Ukraine elections under Russian observation. Putin probably wants Zelensky arrested. I would bet all of those, but I think he would accept exile. I think he wants all of those. I think he would accept exile. And I think that's the right answer. I think, and I've said it before, Zelensky already owns property in Florida. Just go to Florida. He also owns something like Dubai or one of those places. UAE? I forgot. Anyway, he owns property somewhere in the Middle East and in Florida. He should leave. I think you're right. He wants him arrested. I think he would accept exile. That would be it. So yes. John says Hochul can get away with her gerrymandering because when the independent audit is done, it'll be passed by her Assembly and State Senate. Yes, absolutely. Literally, my husband is sitting here laughing at Larry responded pragmatic. Yeah, well, I guess pragmatic's a tough guy, I guess. I don't know. It's fine. Oh, good. I don't mind. Yep. Joel says Pragmatic Party doesn't know about the secret weapon. A super chat can't be ignored. True. I always respond to super chats, even when they insult me. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, Kim says, you killed it last night, Larry. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I do appreciate that. So Jan is reposting it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Scientific Libertarian reposting it. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. Show us the football, Larry. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not. No, because I might press the button by mistake. I don't want to nuke anybody. Just saying yes. There we go. Mastermind says, can anyone see my comments? Yes, I see your comments. There we go. There we go. Joel says, rules no one fully understands. That game should work like our legal system. Yes, on purpose, Joel. He says, I'm the government. He says it, right? Free says it. That's how he starts. I'm the government. Therefore, I always get paid first. So everyone starts at minus 500 points. He says it. And whenever I say it's right, and I just change the rules whenever I want. Yes, that's literally what he says. The game is made that way. Correct. You are correct. And he can tax you whenever he wants. Yes, correct. Yes. Peter says, Larry walks on the people, a true New Yorker. By the way, thank you for that. And by the way, yes, I was recognized this morning on the street. Yeah, this morning on the street. I was walking to I had a funeral. And no, I'm sorry. It was the wake I was walking to. I had a wake yesterday. I was walking to the wake yesterday, not to the funeral. I was walking to the wake yesterday. I was recognized in the street. A guy who said he was a Democrat who voted for me in 2018 and campaigned for me in 2022. It's very nice. People still remember me. So, yes. And I will be back out there again. I'm, by the way, next week, doing a trip next weekend. And I will post it. I will post it coming up here. But next weekend, I will be in Central New York. I'll be in Madison County. I will be in Watertown, which is Jefferson County. I'll be in Oswego County. I'll be at the New York State Fair. I'll also be in Johnstown, which I think that's not Schenectady. Is that Montgomery? I think that's Montgomery County. Then I'll be in Washington County and Dutchess County. So I'll be in a bunch of places this weekend, starting on the 21st through until the 24th. So it's gonna be for my cold should be over by then. I hope so, at least, because it is bugging the hell out of me now. So yes. Alrighty. Let's see if I go here. Alrighty. I have so many that keep grabbing these. Peter says Trump is too scared to oppose Putin. I'm not sure if he's scared of Putin. I think he is worried he's not going to get his peace prize. And he did promise to end the wars. So Ian says, why care about a Nobel? I think he cares, to be forward with you. This is my personal piece. I think he cares because I think that Obama got one. You might go, Larry, that's petty. People are petty. Dude, Ian, people are petty. They are. So Michael says, Armenia, Azerbaijan. You're right. Thank you. He was involved in that one too. Yes. I'm saying, why are you involved in all these things all of a sudden? I think that's why. Not that I'm mad. I don't care. Look, make the peace. I'm not mad at him for this. Good. Make all the pieces. I'm good. Get the peace prize. I've said it before. I'm on record saying it. I would say it again. If he can actually do it, if he can actually end all these wars, give him the peace prize. Happily. Yes. Get a shirt, the whole deal. Love it. Happy to do it. So, yes. All righty. Derek says, Larry, now the National Grid pipeline issue. As a former employee, I can tell you Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island need this because in Brooklyn and Queens, in the winter, they have been very close to having gas outages a couple of winters ago with the polar vortex that hit because it was deemed so high. Now imagine a blackout in the summer, but having it in the winter with no cooking gas or heating gas. Good point. Good point. Yes, absolutely. Mike, he's talking to Dave. Sorry. You negotiate for more with strongest hand you have. True. Think his Trump hand is weaker as EU and undermined him. Time is on Putin's hand. Yeah, no, I think the issue I don't mean to be like pointing other guy, but I think I have to in this case. Biden really screwed Zelensky. He really did. He promised him the world, assumed he'd be able to deliver it, did not think he'd lose the election, and thought he can keep this going in perpetuity. And I think he convinced Zelensky of that. Now, people don't like Zelensky. I get it. But I think he was duped by Biden and the crew. I think he was. I know people get mad at me. I know, but I think it's true. I think it's true. I don't use blame the other guy, right? But I think this happened. And now Trump, not recognizing how bad this happened, Trump didn't recognize how bad he was duped. He didn't recognize what was going on. He did not recognize it. That's why he said, 24 hours, whatever. He didn't recognize it. He thought it was the same back when he was president. And Biden changed everything. So by the time Trump got him into play, he's like, oh, no, it's like when I was there before. And he was like, holy shit, it's nothing like when I was there before. Now what? Now what? And that's what hit Trump. And I don't think Trump's people, either Trump's people didn't know or didn't bother telling him, or he didn't listen. One of those three things happened. Either his people didn't know, or they didn't tell him, or he didn't listen. One of those three things. So now he's screwed. And the EU made all these promises under Biden, and now they got to go back on things. And their own people are like, wait a minute. You told us we got to struggle. You told us we have to take these high oil prices and we do all this stuff because Russia's evil and they're going to invade and they're going to take over the world. None of that's true. But the EU told all the people that, yeah, you got to stop the Russians because they're going to invade and conquer Germany or whatever lie they told them. None of that's true. But they told them that. So now they're in trouble. I think you're right, Mike. Trump's allies in the EU and Zelensky are not great allies, which is why you see Trump is not, he's not like with the EU and Zelensky talking to Putin, because that's not going to help. So I think you're right. He has to do it on his own. He has to do it on his own. So yes. Kim says, so if he gets the Peace Prize, gag me. He might be smart and all, but he's many other things. Keeps company with EpiPen and Nobel Honesty Prize. Let's remember for that one. Oh, look, to be forward, the second they give the Nobel Peace Prize to Obama, not because it's Obama. That isn't the reason why. That's why he got it, because he was Obama. And he was literally bombing 7 countries. The second they gave it to Obama, that Peace Prize really just was like, really? Like, that's really? That's what you're going to do? So, but I still think Trump wants one. I do. I have no physical evidence. No one's told me this. So you think what you want and think I'm full of shit. It's fine. You can. But I think he wants one. I think he does. Again, remember, Trump is not, 30, right? He's 70s. The Nobel Peace Prize used to have real meaning. And I think he still feels that, right? The Nobel Peace Prize used to have real, before they gave it to Obama, it had real hardcore meaning. And I think he still feels that, because when he was growing up, you had a Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, you did something real. Guys like Nelson Mandela won it. Like those kind of guys won it, right? Right? Guys who got like killed by their own people, like the Gandhis of the world got that kind of stuff, right? So yeah. Excuse me. Andrea says they are only our enemies because we don't communicate with them. If we talk to them, we might find some common ground. That's why they don't want us talking, so they can keep them as enemies. Yeah. That's why we had that stupid idea. We don't negotiate with terrorists. Insanely stupid. First of course we do. Like we do. So it's a lie, number one. And it's the whole concept stupid. But it's all the time. To negotiate with terrorists. Insanely dumb. That's dumb Republican talking points. Not a good idea. Stupid. Doesn't make sense. We don't even do it. We negotiate with terrorists all the time. Like all the time. We did it with the Syrians. The Syrian leader now. He's literally one. And we recognized him. We do it all the time. That's not even true. Just shit people say. So yeah. Phil says, I was hearing Mearsheimer on Breaking Points, and he was comparing Ukraine to Germany in World War I. They don't have the same number of soldiers, and there's likely to be a stab in the back of that. Yes. Oh my God. That's actually brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant. But okay, here's some differences here, right? Why would you compare Ukraine and Germany in that regard? Yeah, maybe. The difference, though, in the case of World War I Germany, literally there was never even one soldier stepping on German ground at World War I. They were simply outgunned and they couldn't win the war. They were outnumbered because the Americans got involved, right? But here comes the worst part, though. For those who don't know what Phil's talking about, the stab in the back narrative is very important, because without that narrative, there's no Hitler. That's not a joke. That's not an exaggeration. There's no hyperbole. Without that narrative, there is no Hitler. It doesn't happen. What does this mean? At the end of World War I, if you were the average German citizen, you can't imagine losing the war. Why can't you imagine it? You've beaten the Russians. No one talks about this. The Germans beat the Russians in World War I. The Treaty of Brest-Litovsk literally sold it. So the Russians lost the war in World War I. The Germans beat them. They surrendered. The Germans then move all their forces over to the other side to try to fight the French and the British. The French army is in utter just disarray. It's literally a mutiny. The Brits are bled like they can't do anything. Without the Americans, the Germans win that war. I'm not making, again, no hyperbole. Like any historian will tell you this. If the Americans don't join the war, the Germans win that war. Not fascist Germany, Imperial Germany. Imperial Germany should have won that war. We should have let them go, let them win the war and move on. So why? The average German who's sitting in 1918, sitting in Hamburg or Frankfurt is like, we're winning this war. We beat the Russians. Life is good. And all of a sudden the Kaiser goes, I'm going to step down. We're surrendering. Like, what? How are we surrendering? How can we surrender? We're winning the war. There's nobody. Again, the Germans were actually still physically in France and physically in Belgium. And they'd won the war in the East. There were no French soldiers in Germany. We hadn't bombed that. That didn't happen. So the people are like, what are you talking about? No. And look at all the people who died. My cousin died. My son died. My brother died. My husband died. We all died for what? For you to tell us that's impossible. So, of course, the story was they were stabbed in the back by the evil bankers. And those bankers, by the way, many of those bankers that they talked about being stabbed in the back by were of a certain ethnic/religious background that I don't want to say because I don't want to get banned on YouTube. I think you know that specific ethnic/religious group I'm speaking of. And that was the narrative that was told. That's why they lost the war. Hence, here comes the man with the funny mustache from Austria saying, see, we have to get those same ethnic group/religious people because they stabbed us in the back, and that's why we lost the war. And hence the rise comes. And I'm not even exaggerating with that. That if you do any homework, that's absolutely 100% true. So now, why do I bring this up, Phil? Because with that, Ukraine already has a history of those people who followed the man with the mustache. Does that become a big deal now? Are we literally making World War II happen here and again? And does America screw it up again? Because we screwed up World War I. World War II is because of us. Like, it doesn't happen if we just leave it alone. World War I and World War II were actually, the historians years from now will look back at those two wars and look at them as one war. It was the war for German hegemony in Europe. Will Germany be one hegemon or not in Europe or not? And the answer was no. Now, Germany kind of still runs Europe economically, kind of, but that's kind of failing. But will it not? It was the goal. It was the war to see if the German Empire could end the British Empire. And the answer was the British Empire would instead just surrender to the American Empire. Anyway, I went very long on that. Thank you for that, by the way, Phil. Very savvy with your history. I love how you walk down those roads all the time. So yes. Excuse me. All right. Let me see here. All right. Garrett, thank you for the gifting of the memberships. 5 Sharpe Way memberships, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, every bit does count. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Yes. Guys, grab them if you can. Garrett coming in hot again. 5 memberships. Guys, if you become a member, remember, there will be a membership show coming up here September 5th. Not just that, you get to send me stuff that I can respond to. I do respond to things every couple of weeks. I'll grab something and I'll respond to it. And I try to get your super chats to go to the front. Your chats go to the front. When I'm not on an AMA, I try to put the members chat to the front. So yes, membership does matter. Please jump on those if you can. Garrett, thank you again for coming in hot as you always do, brother. You are always there to help out. I appreciate it. All right, let me head on over to Rumble. All righty. Phil, thank you for $1. He says, I'm biased. I do think the fear of Christian nationalism is overblown. Religion is a counter to politics and power often. Like Bonhoeffer and Luther, there's power higher than politicians. True. Yeah, I think your point's valid. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden now, all of a sudden now, Christian nationalists take over the world. I don't mean that at all. But is there a worry that it will keep growing? I think yes. Right? It's Christian nationalism, whether you like it or not, it does fill a gap. It does fill a void. It does. For many people who are looking for something, it absolutely does. So I think it will keep going. That's true. Yeah, I was teasing with the you have to become an Orthodox. I'm teasing opposite that. But I think it makes sense. I do think it makes sense. So thank you for that, Phil. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Over on Instagram, Jose says, hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. And Eddie says, Larry, from your secret bunker. Yes, this is my secret bunker. It is. It's true. I'm in my bunker. Absolutely true. I am in my bunker. Thank you for that. All right, let me move down here if I can. Patty says, poor people always lose, no matter what side they're on. Also true. Yes. Michael says, Putin outright said he wouldn't have invaded if Trump had been reelected. And I think he's right. The reason why I think it's true is not because Trump is super cool or super awesome. People love Trump will say that, but that's not the reason why. I don't think Trump would have given any of the guarantees to Zelensky that Biden would have given. None of them. He wouldn't have given the guarantees. And then, therefore, Zelensky wouldn't have done what he would have done. There would have been a better deal. Minsk Accord probably would have worked because Trump would never have given those kind of guarantees that Biden did. Biden gave him a blank check. Trump would not have given him a blank. Trump might have still been pro-Ukrainian or something. I don't know if he would have or not. I don't know. He might have been pro-Russia. I don't know what Trump would have been. But he would not have given the blank check that Biden. Trump's never done that. So I don't see, again, Trump is transactional. Might Trump have made a deal? Yes. He might have done that. In fact, he might have helped broker that deal. He might have helped broker Minsk to get a deal. Maybe he might have got like a rare earth deal out of it. He might have sold some of Ukraine away. It's possible. I could see him doing that. Again, he's transactional. He might have done that. But war, I agree. I think Putin told the truth with that. I think he wouldn't have. Lunatic, thank you for the $20. We are in a totalitarian regime. That's why I say screw dollars. It's a control system. I wish stop participating colonist Trump in this country. Skills and wisdom are a way to freedom and liberty. Sacrifices of human always happen. Oh God, I can't stop this cough. Excuse me, guys. I need to take some cough syrup or something. This is a tough one because who decides who the sacrifice is, right? I'm not saying you're wrong. I think you're correct that this happened. If you look at what I was talking about earlier with Russians, many Russians have just believed that that's what's going to happen. They are going to keep losing soldiers. And they have been for, centuries. And they look at it as like their culture. That's how they see it. And many of them are okay with it. Okay with it. It's the wrong word. Are accepting of it. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. Kind of maybe expect it. How about that? Maybe that's a better way of putting it. They kind of expect it. Like, yep, that's going to happen. I think they do think that. America's not as much. It's not as much. So what you're saying is very tough for us to get because people have to see. This is back to my earlier point, Lunatic. People are accepting authoritarianism because it's an answer to their problems. It gives them an answer. Christian nationalism, authoritarianism, Trump doing what he wants without Congress, Newsom doing what he wants without his assembly, Hochul doing what she wants without her assembly, right? Where leaders just doing whatever they want. Executive orders on everything. Biden, Obama with DACA, Trump with tariffs, was accepting it. Why? Because I guess we get something done. We have to see that stop participating has an answer. If we can't see it, the fear of the unknown is what stops us. As a nation, the fear of the unknown is what stops us. So Phil gives another gift. Thank you. Another Sharpe Way membership, guys. Thank you so much. Grab a Sharpe Way membership if you can. I appreciate it. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate that. But authoritarianism is not just in America, right? It's across the world because people are less and less happy. And there is a show on, guess where? Civil. That's where it is, on Civil. There is one. This one is an interesting piece I found on Civil, as I always try to give you something different every single time that's interesting. And this one is specifically about the UN. This is the UN being a massive club for dictators.
We freedom fighters do not get united to end dictatorship. Dictators will get united to end us and democracy.
See that?
On October 3rd, 2022, the Human Rights Foundation held a one-day conference at Town Hall in Midtown Manhattan. bringing together political activists from around the world. Thor Halvorson is the organization's founder and CEO.
The United Nations is a massive club for dictators. The
Do you see that? It's a massive club.
Rich, powerful, and corrupt get together in Davos. Well, some of the world's bravest people get together at the Oslo Freedom Forum. They then start trading ideas.
Syria!
If you are thinking about this kind of thing, here's where you get some details, some information. This is why I always bug you about Civil. CIVL.com, civil.com. When you sign up for it, upper right-hand corner, be a little green shade. Click that button. When you put in the code Larry, Larry, 50% off, $25 for the entire year. The whole year is $25. That's like $2 a month. That's cheap. Cheaper than my stuff. Do that. Go ahead, click on Join on Civil. They're a sponsor. I'm on Civil, right? You will see all my shows on Civil also. And the best part about it is best part, Wednesday show is a Civil-only show. Yes, it is. It's a Civil-only show. You just come on to We Fix It Wednesdays, 7 p.m. It's only on Civil. Join up if you can. Want to see you there. Thank you so much for supporting the show. All righty, let me move on if I could. I've covered that piece, and I have a bunch more comments I want to grab real fast. And Ryan gifted a membership. Thank you. Sharpe Way membership, guys. Yes, please grab them if you can. Membership does matter. Let's keep the members going. The more members I have, the more time I can spend doing this. Less time I have to work. I can actually be on time more often. And then Mike won't bust my balls every time. See? We can keep Mike quiet if you guys become more members. See that? It will work. We want to keep, well, actually, you guys like Mike talking. I probably shouldn't have said that. Yeah, that one. Okay. But I'll have him talk more if you have more membership. There we go. So you guys actually like Mike talking. All right, I screwed that one up. That's fine. I don't always make the right moves. Here or there, I make a mistake. I am human still. So anyway, all righty. Let me grab some more. Lunatic back in action, $10. Thank you, my friend. Anarchism will separate the weak from the strong. Gather the cooperators and producers. Eradicate the oppressors. We need to get rid of the idea that there's a winner or a loser. How do we all win? See, there's the hard part again. How do you separate the weak from the strong? Who decides that, right? That's the hard part, obviously. But not just that. Don't you want to have a way for the weak to become stronger? Right? The idea is it's not the survival of the strongest. It's the survival of the fittest. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're the strongest. You might be, but you might be the smartest or the most nimble or whatever the case may be, right? You are fit for whatever the task that's required or the environment that you're in. So it's survival of the fittest, not survival of the strongest. So you do want weak people to be able to get strong and to fit, right? You do want people to be what makes humans great is not the fact that the individual can think well or use tools. That isn't what makes us great. What makes us great is the fact that we are social, we're eusocial, and that we can work together. As you say, gather cooperators and producers. You can make that happen. Then how do you eradicate the oppressors? Not easy either, right? And in any situation, there will be winners and losers. People will win and people will lose. The question is, does the environment you've created have a system for those when someone loses or is weak that they can be picked up? That is how, to answer your question, how we all win. And it starts with community. I preach community all the time, Lunatic. You know I do. I'm always about localism and community. The problem is our government gets in the way and stops it. As you add government, you by default remove community. That's how it works. As you keep removing community, communities forget how to support each other. They lose the institutional knowledge that communities have. But as the next piece, we have decided that the best answer in the world is the nuclear family. It isn't. And that'll make some of you conservatives angry. It isn't. The best unit in the world is the extended family, the clan. That's actually the best. That's what we've been raised for millennia in the clans, in extended families. And then we went to nuclear as a survival. And now we're not even at that. Now we're just at us living alone in apartments or people who don't know each other living together as roommates. That's what's happening now. So yeah, we need to get back to community and family. You get back to that. Now that answers your question. That's how we all win. Because then the clan wins or they say the family wins. Then we all win, right? One person falls down, the rest of the clan picks them up. That's when we start winning. That's how you do it. So Andrea, thank you for the membership. Give the membership again, guys. Please jump on board. Everyone does count. Please grab on board if you could. $49 per month or free. Grab one of those. It does help. Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to keep going down here if I can. All righty. Ryan says, People are petty, and Trump is has the emotion of a toddler. Whether it is not, he is petty. So yes, absolutely. Yeah. So Scientific Libertarian says, I prefer the Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine, especially to 2023. Yeah, but the Peace Prize sounds cool. It does. It does sound cool. It does. I'm not saying you're wrong. So yeah. Dave says, if Zelensky goes into exile, Putin will just have him deleted. I don't think so. And here's why. You want people to accept exile. No, most people who are exiled don't get deleted. Historically, you want them, right, to just, you want them to exile because that's how you want people to leave. Like it would have been way better if people like Saddam Hussein had just packed up and left, right? Who left just recently? Who's in exile right now? Guy in Syria, Assad. No one's deleting him. Generally speaking, Dave, when people go into exile, they're good, generally speaking. And that's how it should be. You want we talk about World War I, the Kaiser went to exile to Holland, right? No one deleted him. He went to Holland and he just went to exile. You want people. Now, when it didn't happen is when the Russians are, he didn't go into exile. He just abdicated. He should have gone to exile. He might have lived. If he'd gone to Finland, or if he'd go, could you go to Finland then? Sweden, he'd go to Sweden, something like that. Maybe he could have lived. If he'd have gone to Serbia, maybe. I don't know. The Kaiser, he went to Holland and he died in 1942. So he died of natural causes in 1942. The Kaiser was not deleted. He died of natural causes, 1942. So yeah, I don't think it'll happen. I think you want him to be. You want guys like Kim Jong-un to exile. You want that to happen. So many people are not harmed when you let leaders go into exile. It is just a very smart, good thing for humans to do. Yes. All righty. Tom Forthright says, Christian nationalism is Christian the way democratic socialism is democratic. Oh. Nice. 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 I like that. That's good. All right. Andrew says, tariffs do nothing except harming the people of the U.S. fiscally. Lowering the price of things is one of Trump's biggest lies. I think you are seeing some of that already, Andrew. You're seeing the polling start to turn on Trump when it comes to the economy. I think people are starting to think that he's lost, that he's taking his eye off the ball. I think people are starting to see that. Now, generally speaking, I don't like tariffs. However, I think in theory, you could, if you had the right plan, put together a plan with tariffs. You could use tariffs as a stick and a carrot that you could in theory. I feel like he is, if he's doing it that way, I'll go back to something I've been saying. He has communicated it terribly. Terribly. If he's doing it that way. I can't tell he's even doing that. But if he is, he's doing it terribly. So I think people are starting to see that. I think they are. So yes. All right. Andrea says, just like Georgia, Putin didn't take it all. He just took some to keep the conflicts down. Yeah, I don't think he wants everything. I think he wants the chunk and he wants a rump state. And that's what he wants. He wants a rump state. I think he's shown it. I think that's what he wants. I think to me, it seems obvious that's true. So Andrew says, do you think Queen Hoku the Horrible will win re-election? It does look that way right now. Yeah. Yeah. Because no one of stature will fight her. And the Republicans don't have the bench. So yeah. The Republicans don't have the bench. So yeah. Kim says, my tinfoil hat smoking. I need to go buy one. I need to go buy one. I think I'm with you. I gotta go buy one. So yes. All righty. Grab some more of these. Kim says, JFK was taken up by our governor and deep state and all the rest of the yep. He threatened to dismantle the Federal Reserve System. Yep. About a month before that. Yep. Yes. Kim, yes. Marx says, Larry, they're terrible. Okay. I tell you all the time, the government's the mob. If you think it's something else, you're fooling yourself. It's just the mafia. It's just a legal mafia. That's what it is. I know. I'm with you. So if I need to, then I need to. So, all righty. Let me keep going down here if I can. All righty. Joel says, Chuck Schumer's touring the state with his important Orange Man Bad tour. Isn't he always? Isn't he always? Yeah, he kind of is. Yep. Mike says Trump is currently 5 for 7 of peace deals this year. It's not bad, Mike. I'm not mad at him for it. I've been saying I'm not mad at him. I hope he can do it. And I'm not saying to be flippant. Mike, you've been listening to me. I've been saying that since last year. When he won re-election, I was like, good. Let's hope he does it. And I've never walked away from that. I stand on that. I want the man to win a peace prize. I'll happily promote it on the show. I want him to win a peace. I want him to end these wars. I hope he can. And I know people don't like these transactional, but in this case, it's a great deal. It's exactly the right way I want it to be. Be transactional, Trump. Be it. Be you. End these damn wars. I'm in. I'm behind you. Do it. Yes. Looking over at Rumble, straight in, thank you for $2. Stepping in late, as usual. Had a great time last night in spite of sugar. Oh, thank you. I thought it was a cool show. I enjoyed the show. I did like it. I was a little bit spicy on the show, but it was a show, so it had to be good. It had to be good. It was spicy, so yes. So, all right. Kim says, $10. Thank you. I'll make you a tinfoil hat that lasts a long time, Larry. I might need it. I might put it on every once in a while. Just like put it on when I'm doing my show. Okay, here we go. Walking down that road. The problem is, and it's kind of a joke, but it's kind of not. And that is, you look at what we thought of was crazy conspiracy theories, and then it's like, a year ago, we're like, it's not crazy anymore, is it? No, it's like not crazy at all. In fact, now it's like the thing. So I saw a meme that said, I need new conspiracy theories. All might have been proven true, right? Like, I mean, it's a little bit of exaggeration, but not by much. Like, not by much. And the worst part is stuff that I thought no way could be true. I'm like, how is that true? Yeah. So, but I go to my normal way of doing things. I tend to think that government doesn't start it. I think government just kind of takes advantage of it. Yes, takes advantage of it. Yeah. Phil, over on Rumble, thank you for $1, my friend. Tariffs have been as bad as I thought for a couple reasons. Haven't been as bad as I thought. First, shipping costs are down with volume. Second, tariffs function as a national sales tax. It taxes consumption over investment and work. It taxes consumption over investment and work. That's true. I think that's accurate. Yeah. But also, I don't think we know yet. This is my thing. Why I tease Michael, right? Because Michael often, I'd say he always, he counts his chickens before they hatch. Democrats do the same thing. I'm not prepared to count my chickens yet. I still think Trump, in my view, and again, some of you think I'm crazy, I'm sure. I think he's on a cusp right now still. We still have several months before we're going to know if this is going to work or not. If all his deals hit, and he's able to actually, if he's able to get those deals to hit, and then he actually ends these couple of wars, he's going to be a very successful president if that happens. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it could. If the economy doesn't crash, they might look at him and go, oh my God, all this he said was correct. He was great. That could still happen. But at the same time, the economy could crash coming up here in a couple of when this holiday season hits coming up here in about 3 months. If it's not a banger, if the layoffs is still as bad as it looks, if the economy is still bad, things aren't going well, if he hasn't ended these wars by then, 2026 is going to be a bloodbath for Republicans. And if Mamdani wins and he now becomes the new, I got everything good, because what many don't recognize, I know a lot of you guys who hate Mamdani, the first thing he says, his policies will crush New York. Not right away. That's not how it works. See, this is the problem that many of you don't understand who are very econ based and logical based. When someone like Mamdani puts his policies into play, first of all, he can't put them into play until January of next year anyway. So maybe by April they hit. Maybe. You always get an initial positive push before the market can respond, right? Because initially there's an influx of government money, cash money. The market doesn't respond immediately. It takes months before it responds. So let's say, for the sake of argument, he wins. He takes office in January. He puts his stuff into play in April. But like July, August, things could be great. I'm not making that up, because that's when the inflows come in, when he forces the rents down, when the buses are free. There's no repercussions yet. Repercussions come 6 months later. Well, when everything hits great in July, repercussions hit in December. Election's over. So by November, it still looks good. Mamdani looks like a genius. Look at what he did. Trump collapsed everything. Mamdani's the hero. Democrats and socialism was always right the whole time. And then 2027 becomes a bloodbath for Republicans. 2026 can become a bloodbath. That could actually happen. That is an actual realistic scenario. That could happen. Now, then again, because there's always a backlash. 2027, everything crashes, but too late. Democrats control everything by then. Everything crashes. And then they'll blame Trump. See, it's because Trump's bad. Trump messed it all up. That's the reason. So I'm not prepared to count any chickens. I could see Trump being a hero and I could see Trump being a zero. I could see both of them happening. I'm not ready to make a call at all right now. I think we have to wait. That's all I'm saying. All righty. A lunatic goes on to $10. Thank you. Can we achieve a world without borders, without sacrificing individual identities, mutually assured prosperity, out of the kindness of his hearts? I wish we could cooperate everywhere. I think, yes, we can. I sound like Obama now. Yes, we can. Yeah, I think, yes, we can. There are several things that has to happen before that happens. I think number one is, would I love a borderless world? I would, but we're nowhere near that. But there are examples of it actually working. And I'll give you the examples that I think everyone would notice. The UK, right? For those who don't know, officially, England, Scotland, and Wales are 3 separate countries. They have different languages. I think even different currencies. But, they do. Like, there's a Scottish pound. Like, there's even different currencies. They're different countries. But they're all within the United Kingdom. And they have borders, but you can cross them easily. There's no real border, if that makes any sense, right? You can just cross. It's basically a kingdom without borders, if that makes any sense. That's either Britain, the island of Britain, versus England. Now, to have that, you basically have to have similar languages, similar cultures, similar, right? Could the world become that way one day? Sure, it's possible. But we're just nowhere near that. We're nowhere near that. Could that happen one day? Yeah, of course. I don't think I'll live to see it, but could it happen? Sure. Should we work towards that? I don't have a problem with that. Sure, I love the idea. All good. I think it's a wonderful thing. But the first thing is we have to start moving towards that style of world. We are nowhere near that. Second piece, you'd have to come up with some type of decentralized, trusting identity, right? Like a crypto, like blockchain, something like that. Whether it's blockchain, I don't know if it is, but something like that, where people would all be decentralized, when no one could control it individually, where multiple people do, but it's trustworthy. We don't have that either yet. That doesn't exist. Could it be based upon something like a Bitcoin? I think it's possible. All those things are possible. We're just not there, man. We're not there. And with this, the way we are currently, with everyone being against each other, we don't trust each other enough that we could deal with this idea, the kindness of each other's hearts. Could we get there? Yes. We're just nowhere near. We're not there. I think we need to move towards it, though. I'm with you on that. And there are examples of it. And again, I use Scotland, England, and Wales as a good example. Could the entire world be that way some way? I hope. And I'd be open to ways of moving towards that. That'd be wonderful. So yeah, excuse me. I was talking about, authoritarianism and how we fight back towards it, right? Do we fight back by making third parties? I think so. Do we fight back by protesting? I think it doesn't work. I think protesting has shown how it fails again and again and again. But if you think I'm wrong, or if I'm right, either way, you can figure it out by taking these protests and civil disobedience single issue survey, which is on theadvocates.org. Guys, click that link that is sitting in my description. I have a description on YouTube, a description on Rumble, a description on Facebook, and it says link to advocates. Click that link specifically and head over there to the single issue surveys and take the protest and civil disobedience survey. Take the survey, and once you take it, share it. Get the results and share it. It's going to ask you for your email. If you have already given it, you already have not. If not, it's okay. You can click the X if you don't want to, and you still get it. Which of the following most closely aligns with your beliefs? Violent protests are morally justified when reform doesn't come quickly enough. The law should always be respected, or communities will be reduced to chaos. Violent protests are immoral because damage is done to parties who are not individually responsible for protesters' grievances. Violence is only justified in self-defense. Whichever one's closest to what you think. and then keep going. Click one, keep going. Click one, keep going until you're done. Once you've taken the test, please share it and share it with the same link that's there. Same link, click that link, and then share it. Why? I use the advocates all the time. When I'm at protests, I'm not protesting. When I'm out at booths, I use the world's smallest political quiz all the time. It does matter. It's important to get people talking. It does matter, guys. Please take a few minutes, take this test, and share it. Thanks. All righty. Yeah, I'll move on from here if I can. All righty. I think I covered all of those. All right. Derek says, Nobel Peace Prize is useless. It has become that. It has become that. Yeah. That's the part. Yeah. All righty. Mike says, bad move would be Trump winning the Nobel and returning it to the committee blaming Obama. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. I like that. That'd be amazing. I actually like him to do that. Getting it and then saying, I don't want it. That's a boss move. I'm okay with that. That's a boss move. I like that. I would do that. Yes. All righty. Let's see here. All right. Robert Reed's in the house. He says, I firmly believe that because America never committed itself to justice cause regarding the Negro problem, they have exploited race to America out to globalism. I firmly believe that because America never committed itself to a justice cause regarding the Negro problem, they have exploited race to America out to globalism. I'm not sure we're going with that. But what I would say is I think America has absolutely, throughout its history, always relied upon immigrant labor throughout its history, whether it was slaves or at one point Italians and Irish and Chinese, Mexicans. Yeah, I think we've done a lot. Yeah. I'm not sure where you're going with that one, but yes. All righty. Let's see here. Patty says, unpopular opinion. I go back in time, raise little Adolf, loving him, raising him with empathy and gratitude. Came to me in the Guggenheim Museum when visiting an Yeah. There's a joke that I talked about. I wouldn't go back and, would it end, baby? That's terrible. When he's like 18, whatever, I would tell him, you're the best artist ever. I'd be his patron. You're such a great artist. Oh, little Adolf, you're a great artist. Please paint some more stuff. Don't join that military. Don't worry about those people here. Paint me an apple tree. I'd be doing that. I'm with you. I would just be giving him go to the Swiss Alps and paint me a horse like that. I'd be doing that. I'd be paying him to go do paintings. Yeah, and then you don't gotta kill him. I don't know why we're going to kill baby. Why? No. Just let him paint stuff for you. Way better, and you don't gotta babies. You don't gotta do that. Way better. So yes, yes. Phil says the other thing that Biden did was he had Boris Johnson go over and convince Ukraine to stay. That's what I meant. That's how he did it, Phil. That's how he did what I was talking about. That is how Biden gave him a blank check. Trump would have never given him a blank check. Yes. Trump would have never given him a blank check. Again, Trump might have made a deal, might have said, hey, let's give Putin this. If you give me that, I'll give you this. That's possible. I think that could have happened. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm saying that is within Trump's personality. That's something he may have done, but there's no way he would have been like blank check. That's not who he is. He doesn't do that. That's not what he does. He makes deals. So yes. Kim says, Larry used essential oils. One of those diffusers with the right oil mix might fix that cough right up. I don't, and I should. I rarely get sick, so I hardly ever keep anything around for that. I probably should. You know what? I'm going to bug my daughter. My daughter will know that stuff. I'll ask her. She will hook me up with that. That's a good idea. Yes. Yeah, we'll work on that. I appreciate that insight, Kim. I should have done that. I should have. So, all righty. Excuse me. Mastermind says everyone should have a video bump for their segues. It's not bad. I should try maybe. Yeah. Try, yeah. Okay. Mastermind says, I was going to become an anarchist, but I didn't want to fill out all the forms. Not too bad. I like that. That's good. Yes. I like that. Scientific Libertarian says certain insects disguise themselves as poop as an evolutionary adaptation. Yeah. It's of the fittest, not the strongest. Yes. Robert says America is allowed to drift into authoritarianism because Americans lie to themselves about what America has been. The lost cause myth is far too prevalent. I'm not sure that's true, Robert. I think most Americans, I mean, maybe you find some that don't think it, but the vast majority of Americans understand that America has not been perfect. That as a general rule, except recently maybe, as a general rule, America has been getting better. It has been making things better for its people, except recently. It has been. I think generally speaking, that's true. But I think we all know our sins. And I know some people will be like, now they don't want to teach people about slavery. I mean, it's silly. Everyone knows about slavery. So we know our sins. I'm not sure that's true. Ryan says government always keeps prices low. Oh, wait. Yeah, they don't do that. Yeah. Okay, government says they do that. They do say that. Yes, they don't actually do it, but it does sound good. So yes. Lunatic, thank you for $10, my friend. How many great thinkers that are on the record and shared were considered lunatics by the others of their time, but another time are studied and followed? Let's go for my previous lunatics of time. I think many, and that was the point, right? Most of those people, in the long run, they became martyrs. What do I mean by that? Most people who are great thinkers are ahead of their time. That's why they're great thinkers, because they're ahead of the time. So many times, someone else is going to pick up the mantle based upon what they're talking about. That's very common. So people have asked me, Larry, you run for office, or Larry, you do this stuff. What do you think you're going to save the world? And I say, no, I don't think I'm going to save the world. I don't. And I'm not joking when I say that. I don't think I'm going to save the world. But do I think I could be one of the guys who sets it up to be saved? I do. And if that means I have hubris, then I have hubris. But I do think I can be one of the guys who sets it up to be saved. When I ran in 2018, for those of you who remember, one of the sayings I used to say all the time was, I will break a hole in this wall, but you have to follow me through. And I meant that. I will break a hole, but that isn't the end of the war. We just broke a hole in the wall. Now you got to move through and take the castle, right? So you guys got to come through. I'll break the hole, but you got to follow me through so we can do something. So the great thinkers, usually, they aren't the ones who make the thing happen. They're the ones who motivate people to make the thing happen. Look, I'm trying to make things happen, as you see, lunatic, but I recognize that the world isn't ready for what I'm saying right now. If it was, I'd be governor of New York right now. So clearly it isn't. So I got to keep pushing so that I can break into the hole so people can walk. When I break a hole in that wall, more people rush through, right? I broke a hole once, people rush through. The state closed the hole up, everybody back out. Our breach was closed. I gotta do it again. So I will mount up and make another assault. And we'll break a hole again. I hope people won't go through that breach. You gotta keep breaking holes. I'll follow through mine. One or the other. So yeah, we have to push through. Someone's got to be in the front line, right? Someone's in the front line. Maybe that's us. Phil of One Rumble says, thank you for $1. Have seen The Boys from Brazil. Yes, I remember that. Yes, for those you don't know. I was going to say, yeah. The H-Man clone in America protected Lieberman. The H-Man loved Westerns. If the real H-Man had come to America, we'd have chosen the peaceful path. For those you know, The Boys from Brazil was the idea that after the war, the special Germans over there went to Brazil and cloned their leader, the funny mustache, so they could regrow the Fourth Reich, right? Then keep going. So yeah, that's what it's about. So yeah, look, every human being is both every human being is both nature and nurture, right? Every human being is both. Some more nature than nurture, some more nurture than nature, but they're all both. So he doesn't become what he became without both. So if we change his nurture, to Patty's point, he's not that man. So yeah. Ryan, thank you for $2. Larry, you saying the government lies? No. You're shocked. I know. No. I don't want to ruin your faith in government. It just sometimes makes mistakes. Or the other party is so evil they screwed it up. Whatever party you don't like. Right? So whatever party you don't like, that's the bad party. So just so we're clear. Doesn't matter which party. Which one you don't like. That's the one. So yes. All right. Okay. Patty says, when you're late, we talk amongst ourselves because know each other better. That's true. You guys do. That is true. Yes. All right. Sunday Victorian says, I prefer disappointing reality over conspiracy theories. Yeah. But conspiracy theories are fun. I mean, it's true. They are. So yes. Mike says, tariffs are a long-term strategy, but media wants people to evaluate this process on a short-term basis. Hell, if Fed Reserve cut rates as they should have, we would be far better off. I go back to the same thing, Mike. The problem isn't that. And I'm going to compare Trump to someone who did something similar. I'm going to compare him to Milei in Argentina. Milei did something. Milei loves Trump. In fact, in many ways, he views himself as a Trump-like leader in many ways. Well, Malay's done better than Trump this time. And Trump did it decently his first time around. I think Trump either got lazy or got so pissed off, so angry, or maybe just, I don't know, but his communication was just not good. Milei communicated very well to his people in a way that his people got. Like he knew his people, he got it, and he said, look, this first year is gonna suck. I'm doing all the crazy stuff, but give me a year and it'll be fine. Stuff will get better. And he's right, and his people are still behind him now. Like his people are still behind him. Some hate him, of course, but that's always. But overall, Argentinians are still behind him. He did a great job communicating that. Trump's problem is you're saying tariffs are a long-term strategy. That's not what Trump said, Mike. He didn't say that. What he said was you're going to see it's a miracle and golden age and overnight and America's awesome. He promised everything overnight. 90 days and 90 deals. He promised everything. His problem was not that tariffs are long-term. You're right. That's true. He didn't say that. And to expect the American population to understand that, that's his fault. I know he's your boy. That's his fault. He should have known better than that. Or his people should have known better. Or he should, I don't know. Are his people not telling him? Is he not listening? I don't know. Someone should have known better and stopped him from saying the stuff he said. He should have stopped that. He should have been like, nope. He should have said what you said. He should have called you up, Mike, and say, hey, Mike, be my spokesperson and tell people how tariffs work. And you could have told it. And people were like, oh, that's how that works. Yes, don't expect things now. In fact, expect some pain right now. Expect some pain right now. But trust me, the pain's going to hit now, but you're going to see something better coming on. Trust me, I'm Trump, I'm great, blah, blah. And most people who love Trump would have trusted him. He screwed up his communication. I know people who like Trump don't want to hear that. It's still true. Whether you want to hear it or not, it is true. Lunatic says, Larry, the breacher preacher, taking point on solutions and getting government out of your life. New slogan, I'll volunteer to be in your squad. I appreciate it, my friend. I appreciate it. Yes. Let's see if I run again next year. We'll push on from that. We'll put another hole in his wall. We'll see if we can. Over on Rumble, Peace gifted us subscription. Thank you, guys. If you're on Rumble, grab one of those if you could. I appreciate that. Yes, thank you so much, Lunatic. And thank you so much, Peace. You guys are great. I really appreciate it. All righty. Let me grab some more of these. Captain Phoenix says, why would anyone want a war without borders? Don't libertarians believe in freedom and associate in private property? Yes, which is why you want a war without borders. Yes. In the perfect world, if we could have the perfect world, Captain Phoenix, we're nowhere near there, but we're talking just theoretical perfect world. It would only be private property, right? In the magical perfect world, we would only have private property. There wouldn't need to be a border. It would just be my own private. The border would be my private property. That'd be it. That would be the perfect world. And agreements that people make within communities to have whatever communal property is with private agreements with people in those areas, right? That's the magical perfect world. Again, we are nowhere near that. But would that be great? Yes, that would be a wonderful world. I hope one day, I'm not going to live to see that day, but I hope one day we get there to where there's a world where it's just private property plus private contracts with people who agree who owns these things communally, how they agree. That would be amazing. I would love that. So of course you want a world without borders. As a libertarian, of course you would. Again, I'm being clear. We're nowhere near that. It'd be wonderful. Maybe one day my great grandkids maybe will have that world. Hope so. It'd be nice. So yeah, hope that answers your question at least. So okay, let me go down here if I can. I have so many of these. You guys are going back and forth a lot too, so that's good. All right. We go down. Okay. The Sunday Libertarian says essential oils smell nice. That's about it. They do smell nice. That's true. But do they work on my nose? I hope so. But look, the other thing that's cool is if they smell nice and don't work, then at least they smell nice. If they smell nice and work, well, life is good. I hope they work. I don't know if they work, so I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I actually don't know. But I know people love essential oils. I have smelled them. They do smell good. So there's something. There we go. Mike says, just wrap in a heavy blanket and sweat the cold out. Works for me when I get a cold about every other year. I've done it before too. I've sweated out. I have done it before in the past. I might do that. But usually I can just sleep for about 2 or 3 days and I'm good. It usually works. And I just got it like 2 days ago. So I should be over by tomorrow. It should be. If not, I think I'm sweating it, Mike. I might try that. Yes. Mass Manawa says, if there is any truth to survival of the fittest, then explain to me why sloths exist. They can die of starvation with a stomach full of food, for God's sake. Because in whatever environment they were the fittest of whatever else was there. That's why. It was it. They were it. Yeah. So yes. All right. Robert says, but government is community. At least how it's been imagined in the U.S. In a perfect world, government would be ran by people, not major corporations with endless caches of money. You're right, Robert. It was supposed to be that way. We have broken it in many ways. You're totally correct. Government was supposed to be literally a bunch of communities. Yes, you're right. We've utterly broken it. No argument for me. If government was that way, if we'd be much happier, right? If you look at our original governments, the original governments of the colonies were often linked to the church, not because of religion necessarily. I mean, by default, yes, but not necessarily because it was a building. It was a large building where you can congregate. And it was the center of town. Many towns were built upon a church early on, back in the 1600s, 1700s. So it'd be a church and then build around a church. So it became common. So that's how original governments became. We had assemblies, local town assemblies, town councils. That's what it was all about. Those are the people who voted on things and made things happen, made rules and laws and such. So yeah, I think that's what it was supposed to be about. I agree. We are far from that, though. We're far from that. Yeah. Now we're just, yeah, we're nowhere near where you, yeah. I'm just saying yes. All right. Chrissy says, thoughts, Trump said in a press conference, RFK has 2 years to make a difference. Yep, I remember he gave him 2 years. RFK Jr. is now saying he gets multiple calls a week from Trump asking why aren't people healthier yet. I'm worried. I would be worried too. And I don't think it's because Trump. Here is what I think is happening. Because I'm going to give you my 2 cents. I think what's happening right now is the people around Trump, they aren't getting as many clear victories. And they want clear victories. And they aren't getting them. It's gray. You keep hearing me saying, you count your chickens for they hatch. It's not crystal clear. Trump is not getting crystal clear victories that people care about. Like, don't get me wrong. Mike is correct with the when he says 5 out of 7 peace treaties. That's true. But the 5 aren't the big ones that people want, right? They want the Ukraine and the Gaza one. Those are the ones that we want, right? So if he gets those are clear and obvious wins. Everybody's happy, right? If the economy all of a sudden turns around, he just fired the BLS guy, right? That's not looking good. He's got to have that happen. Everything's gray and not clear and not obvious wins. RFK Jr. has the clearest wins. And what I mean by wins is a lot of people don't like what RFK Jr. is doing, but the people who support RFK Jr. absolutely do. So his people are getting great victories, right? The other people aren't. They're upset. So Trump was actually spending a lot of time giving RFK a bunch of kudos. He stopped recently. People around him are upset. Like, Trump, you need to get your own stuff. How about our stuff? Blah, blah. They're now talking trash about RFK Jr. to Trump. I think all the people are in Trump's ear talking trash about RFK Jr. And that's the problem right now. This is trite. This is jealousy. This is pettiness. And I think it's going against RFK Jr. right now. I don't have evidence of that. This is just my gut. Take it whatever you want. I think it's happening right now. So that's why he's got to take some more action, get some stuff done. Yes. That's why he's not running for president. Yes. I do think he will try to keep to his 2 years, though. He did say that. I think he'll try to keep to it. That's what I think. So, yes. All righty. Robert says, there are far too many people who think that government doesn't work, but I say it's absolutely is working, just not working on behalf of the people. That's accurate. It's true. But they want it to work for the people. Yep, that's right. All right, Kim says, that's why I think if Mamdani wins New York, may finally get a master dose of and finally decide New York needs real change, that will be live for governor. I hope you are right, Kim. I hope you're right. Yes. I hope you're right. That'd be amazing. That would be amazing. All righty. Master says, if H-Man wasn't born evil, what age do you think he turned evil? I think the war turned him. To be forward, I think the war turned many people. World War I wrecked people. When it comes to, and the reason is the type of trench warfare, what trench warfare did. You might say, well, more people died in World War II. True, but more soldiers were shell-shocked and wrecked with PTSD from World War I than World War II. World War II was a mobile war. World War I really wasn't. So you sat in mud and trench and death and pain and bombardment for months and months and months on end. And the H-Man spent, I think, 4 straight years on the front. For those who don't know, there's actually a movie about it. I forgot what it was called. But the guy does a very good job of showing him, like, he was a runner. Like, back in World War I, you don't have radios. So how do you give orders? Motorcycle or physical guy who runs around and gives you the orders. So you run trench to trench to give paper orders out to people. I'm not joking. That's how it was done. He was one of them. So I think World War I wrecked him. I think it totally wrecked. It wrecked millions of people, but him specifically, that wrecked him. When he left the war, he felt like he was utterly, completely wrecked. And I think he was going to punish the world. And he did. So that's my opinion on that. I think most people probably agree with that. So yes. All righty. Ryan says, I'm pissed off at Trump. There's no chocolate milk or soda in the water fountains anywhere. You know, I didn't know that. You're right, there aren't. He has completely failed us. I really wanted chocolate milk. That's it. I'm with you. Yes, that is terrible. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yes. All righty. Phil says, Larry is the LPNY quarterback. I'll block for quarterback sneak. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Mastermind says, eucalyptus clears your sinuses. And maybe I need some of that. Here we go. Robert Reese says, a world without borders. Brianna Joy Gray did an interview with a man, can't remember his name, where he suggested that. But he also said some people will have to take a hit. Absolutely not. I'm not sure about that. I don't mind the idea. Captain Finney says, yeah, that would still mean borders. Humans are humans, which would always mean borders of some sort, as long as humans are humans. Not sure I would humans not be humans. Yes, but there's a difference, right? When someone says a world without borders, you're looking at it literally versus not something they don't mean literally. Of course they don't mean literally, right? Literally, of course, it'd be silly to say that, right? It's like when people say, we need to have more democracies. They don't mean necessarily direct democracy. They mean people voting, right? So even though the word is different, right? So the concept is you wouldn't have artificial borders drawn up by governments, because that's what borders are now. Now borders are artificial lines drawn up by governments. You would have instead lines drawn up by individuals who make agreements. A little bit different. And they could change and shift easily. Borders don't change and shift easily now. They change usually through war or through some crazy group of people just making decisions. Here it would be, if that in this kind of world, it'd be a world where it would only change when the individuals directly involved would make that change. That's the difference. So I hope that at least makes sense, at least, if you disagree. So, all righty. James is here. He says, apologies for being late, Larry. I just finished doing an interview with someone from the We the People Party of North Carolina. Very informative. Yes, I have to make some comments on that. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Yes. All righty. You may rethink that. Thank you. Masterman Hour says, monsters are born from war. True. In fact, so was Godzilla. Yes. Scientific says, no, I definitely don't like RFK Jr. This was the year we were going to cure multiple cancers. Bringing down healthcare costs is important, especially if you're against big government. They already did sickle cell anemia, pancreatic cancer, lung cancer, breast cancers. I don't know what. No, I definitely don't like RFK Jr. This was the year we were going to cure multiple cancers. Bringing down healthcare costs is important. I'm not sure what that has to do with RFK Jr., especially if you're against big government. They already did sickle cell anemia, pancreatic cancer, lung cancer. But they didn't cure lung cancer and breast cancer. That's not a thing. Did I miss that? They cured lung cancer? I don't know what I don't know what any of this means. And how is RFK Jr. stopping people from curing cancer? Is that a thing? I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe I missed something. So I don't know. And my point being, it doesn't matter if you like RFK Jr. or not. If you do like him, he is doing what he said. So if you like him, you're getting successes, right? If you like Trump and you wanted tariffs, he's doing tariffs, right? So you're getting what you wanted. That's what I say. Victories or wins is the people who wanted you to do stuff. You are doing the stuff. That's a win by default, right? I mean, I don't expect a non-libertarian to do libertarian things, right? Because they weren't running on that, unless they ran on it. But most people don't run on libertarian things and win. If they did, that's how I'm doing. I'm not sure where you're going with this at all. Maybe I'm missing something. So Straight N over at $2 over on Rumble says, do we know the Trump family member that sent Governor Newsom a Trump 28 hat? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't even hear about that. That's actually a good, that's a nice one. I like that. That's good. That's good. There we go. That's good. Phil says, for $1, MNRA was supposed to cure a lot of those things, but there was some question about the safety of them. He paused funding. I don't think he stopped all MNRA. Oh, that's what he means. Oh, no. mRNA is not curing those cancers. Maybe it might, maybe one day, but yeah, no, it didn't do that. All right, man. Maybe I'm out of loop on this one. Sometimes I'm out of loop. Maybe I'm out of loop on this. Maybe I have to do some homework. Maybe I'm out of loop on this one. I don't. Yeah. Maybe it could at one time. So, yeah. Maybe at one time. Maybe. It could maybe one day. I don't know. All right. Let's see. So, Silent Libertarian says, having to stop and start research due to funding is very, very expensive. Yeah, so let's have the private sector pick that up. Yeah. Why wouldn't the private sector pick that up? Let them pick it up. It's fine. Is there anyone, and maybe I'm crazy here, right? Maybe I'm crazy in this one. But if there's such a thing, maybe I should do more homework. I don't do homework on this stuff. I don't really care, but maybe I should. If there's some, mRNA vax that will stop you from getting breast cancer, if that's a thing, I guess you're telling me it's a thing. If that's a thing, I have a feeling people would buy it. I think they would. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not getting it. I'm okay being wrong on this one. Maybe I'm wrong on this one. Maybe I'm wrong on this one. Who knows? So, all right. Monkey C. Monkadoo says, RFK is a Zionist plant. He's not for change at all. He's controlled 100%. I'm sick of this country. I don't think that's true. I'm not 100% sick yet. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. I don't think that's true. Are some of his takes in that regard horrible? Yes. Yes, you are correct. Some of his worst takes. I completely agree. It doesn't mean he's a plant. Just because he has those horrible takes, and they are horrible, it doesn't mean that he's a plant. Lots of people have those horrible takes and are not plants. They either believe it, or they're getting paid, or someone's got some stuff on them. That doesn't mean you're a plant. I think you're making a. I agree with your premise. I think your assumption is lacks evidence. How about that? There we go. Yes. That I think your assumption lacks evidence. That's what I'll say. There we go. All righty. I hope that makes sense. Kim says, now my tinfoil hat's smoking again. See that? There we go. Yeah. We got her. We got it. Yeah, there we go. That's it. Monkey, oh, he's mad at me now. He says, that's not all it is, Larry. I'm blind. Okay, maybe I'm blind. It could be I just don't know every damn thing. Could be that, but maybe I'm blind. I guess I'm blind. It's fine. People are mad at me. All right. Monkey says, it's true. He is that. I didn't say he wasn't that. It doesn't mean he's a plant, is what I said. It doesn't mean he's a plant. Lots of people are that and are not plants. I know people in New York City who are that, and they are not plants. They're just people on a goddamn street. And why do it? Okay, you're about to get me upset now. You want to trigger me? You're about to. Who said America's free? When the fuck did I say that? When did I say that? You are starting to just decide that now all of a sudden you all of a sudden decide that you're gonna now be one of those virtue signalers. You gotta be a virtue signaler and care that, and the only thing that matters in the goddamn world is freaking Zionism. It isn't the only thing in the world that matters. You people go down that road. That's all that matters. You gotta say the words or whatever, or they're all plants. No, you live up your ass. It's not how that works. There's a whole lot of shit in this world that matters more than that. There's lots of people out there who believe exactly that, who aren't plants. They just think that because they heard that, or their friend told them that, or they believe it. Not because they're plants. They're not all plants. There's people who believe that shit. That's all there is. So stop. And because Zionism, that's because America isn't free? Who gives a shit about that? We're not free because of so many other reasons that I speak about every day, all the time. This is the least of our issues. And that's your number one thing. I don't care about that stuff. What do I care? I don't mean to be cruel. I know bad stuff's happening over there. But bad shit's happening here too. And in Ukraine, and in Russia, and in Thailand, all over the place. So I don't know what you're talking about. You are talking trash. Anyway, you're talking trash. Sunday Libertarian says, not liking RFK Jr. isn't going to prevent me from not liking Larry Sharpe. Oh, thank you. That'd be ridiculous. I agree. Yes. There we go. All right. Let me keep going down here. All right. Oh, Jesus. All right. I'm just going to stay here. I will start after this. Zionism is the number one reason we're not free. That you don't care is why I think you're blind. I don't mind you being cruel. I just think you're blind. Okay. No, I'm not being cruel. It's not. If it's the number one reason, if that's true, then before 1949, we were free. Is that what you tell me? Before 1949, we were free. Are you telling me? No. Before 1917, when the British made it Palestine, we were free before that. This is 1917, 1918, whenever that time was. Whenever the Brits made it Palestine, whenever that, I think it was 1970, I think that was right. Whenever that time was. We were free then? That's when we were free? Before that? No. There's lots of reasons we're not free. It's not the number one reason at all. Let's say all of a sudden, tomorrow, they create Großen Israel tomorrow. They win, and they got the whole area, and it's all Großen Israel. Greater Israel exists. We free then? Or we're not? The reverse. The Arabs all get together, and they push Israel into the sea, and it's gone. They wiped out the face of the earth. We free now? All of a sudden, we're free. No. That shit you made up, man. Now, is it an important issue? It is. Does it matter? It does. Is his take garbage? It is. I'm agreeing with you on all those things. It does matter. It is important, right? And his take is garbage. Agreed. The number one reason? You made that shit up. That's propaganda you believe. Utterly not true. No evidence of being true. 100% not true. That's you just believe in stuff. It's not true at all. But other parts are true. True. Yes. Here, Kim, America's not free because we have nose in every other country's business. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Kim gets it. Yes. 100%. So, any case. Excuse me. Maybe I need to get that eucalyptus that you've been telling me about. So, yeah. All right. A Captain of Phoenix says, bad takes needs to be explained by like 100 things that aren't Zionism. True. Yes. Lots of things. Lots of things. Yes. Lots of things. Yes. 100%. All right. I guess I didn't want to get too triggered because you guys get mad at me if I get too triggered. Michael yell at me. and then after Michael yell at me, then Dee will be like, I gotta edit stuff out. So I'm being good. That's what I'm doing. So yes. So any case, I will move on from that if I can. I do want to ask something I have not asked you enough of. Guys, please click the like button. Please click the like button. It does matter. Every time you click that like button, it does matter. It helps. Lunatic says, there's a Larry I like to hear, raw and uncut. I don't like always going down that road, but I sometimes do. I don't like getting triggered, but I sometimes do. That's all. Look, even when I get upset, I still want you guys to stay and keep talking. I'm not mad. It's good. It's done. We keep moving on. Lots of people get mad at me and call me names. I put it up here when they call me names. I want the back. If I didn't want the back and forth, I shouldn't have a show. I put myself out there. If I don't want the back and forth, I shouldn't do the show. I do the show, I get yelled at. I do the show, people get mad at me. I do the show, they call me names. How it works. If I don't like that, I don't do the show. I can just sit home and watch Netflix. That's my choice. I'm here, it's my choice. I get yelled at. That's all. Peace Logic over on Rumble says, yeah, that's the one thing about RFK that's problematic, Israel. You're not wrong. But his position at HHS has nothing to do with that. Sadly, he doesn't agree with you, Peace. I wish he agreed with you. I wish he would agree with you, but sadly he doesn't. So yes. So I'll concentrate on the positive with his role in making America healthy again. I'm with you. Look, here are the reasons why I'm glad that RFK Jr. ran, and the reasons why I'm glad that he is at HHS. There's reasons why I am, regardless of what outcomes happen. There are other reasons why I think it's important. Number one is he showed that running independent could actually change the policies of a mainstream party. There was no even talk of health or food or anything in the Republican Party prior to RFK jumping on the Trump train. Now, you may not care about that personally, but that does mean that whatever you care about, you could run as a third party and then change something else. If that makes any sense. You could do that, right? So while you may not care about what he's doing, you could do your own thing and then you could change it. That's possible. So you could do that. That's option. That's one reason that I'm glad he ran. Second thing is he is actually going against some of the mainstream issues and making real changes, which tells people that things can be changed. Again, you may not like the things he's doing, but that means there's hope for you to make changes that you want, right? That's the issue, that you can do changes that you want. That is why I'm very glad he ran and very glad that he is in his spot, because now it means this can be done. Third piece, more people talked about ballot access with his run than every libertarian for the past 3 years combined. I spoke about ballot access so much. Most people understand so much of that based upon Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s run. I am absolutely happy he ran. I'm very glad with what he did. I'm very happy that he was able to be at HSS. He has shown people that there are things that that there can be change. Again, you may disagree with his change, but you can then do your thing. I can do my thing. And then make the same steps and get change and make something happen. And I think for so many people, there's no hope. So look, do I like all it takes? I don't. Am I glad he ran? 100%. 100%. I'm glad he ran. I am. Peace over on Rumble says, Larry is love, one of the best political commentators in the world. Oh, thank you. Love how you can generally steal, man, any topic to see the full landscape. Thank you. Oh, peace. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. All righty. Phil says, you're the king of the night. Oh, look at that one. I like that. Kim says, RFK did what the Dems Republicans thought they stopped after Ross Perot ran. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. I think that's true. Yeah. All righty. All righty. Let's see. Ryan says Larry hit the Yankee. Okay. I know that was on purpose, Ryan, and that was with love, because you're like, I'm gonna get Larry off this topic because I'm gonna walk away. See, Mike, I'm being good. I'm being good. I'm being good. All right. I'm being good. Kevin says, Angela McCarter proved the same thing. Hate is going to hate. Yeah, I'm not sure what she actually wanted in the end. I'm not sure if she got what she wanted exactly yet. I'm unsure about that. I'm not sure. Everybody says, ooh, Ryan, you so mean, Larry. See, I was good. I saw it coming. See, I saw it coming, and I almost, but I didn't. I was good. I saw it coming, and I caught myself. See, I was good. I caught myself. All good. Yes. Senator says, seeing RFK Jr. put methylene blue, a much more harmful dye, in his water, then talk about red dye 40 less harmful, was pretty hilarious. Whether you agree with that, again, isn't the point, right? The point is you have a choice in methylene blue. Americans didn't have much of a choice in red dye 40. It was in everything. I mean, it was in almost everything, right? Almost everything red had that in it. Now, at least we know that it's bad and you have a choice. You now can go, I don't care if I have red dye 40. I don't care if I have methylene blue, or I do care. And I think that's the critical point. So again, still a good decision, right? Because the opposite piece is, again, I'll go back to the next thing. You may not, and there's a thing they talk about, well, whether is it good that you have your fries in tallow or not? I don't know if it's better or not. I don't really care. The point is, no one even talked about it before. If you go back 3 years, almost no one's about having fries in tallow. They're like, what is that all about? Well, you know what? You should know, and you should make a decision. Do you care if your fries are in tallow or not? A good example I bring up often is Mike Voss. You guys know Mike Voss and I are friends. We often break bread together, right? I'm on keto, and I care tremendously about what I eat. Mike eats whatever the hell he wants. We eat together all the time. No one gets mad. No one points fingers. No one cares. He eats what he wants. I eat what I want. The issue is Mike knows what's good and bad, and he makes his decisions. I know what I think is good and bad, and I make my decisions. It's like RFK Jr. is telling you can't have methylene blue. You can't have red dye 40. You can if you want to. You can get in the places, but why? He didn't stop you from having. You can still, if you want to, have your fries in seed oil if you want to. Good for you. If you can't have it in tallow. I don't eat fries. I'm on keto. I don't give a shit what you put your fries in. I'm not eating them. I never eat fries. Doesn't matter to me. But maybe you like fries, scientific. Maybe you like fries. I don't know if you do. You get to have them in tallow if you want to, or seed oil, or whatever you want. What's wrong with that? If I'm gonna be mad at somebody, it's not him. If I'm gonna be mad at his takes, it's not that take. It's the other take I'd be upset about. This one, I don't care. If you like methylene blue, take it all day long. Enjoy. If you don't have it. No worries. So it's not an issue I'm prepared to deal with, if that makes any sense. It's not a hill I want to die on. So, yeah, not a hill I want to die on. So, anyway, Scientific says, nah, I'm on keto, no fries. See, you get it, so it doesn't matter. There we go. Kim says, I love to gain 100 pounds at McDonald's. Yes. She says, fries and tallow should taste better, and tallow's healthy by far. Well, there we go. Then you can have you get to have them now if you want. That's nice. Yes. So some of it goes, you could very easily avoid red dye 40. No, you couldn't. That's not true. You are incorrect. 2 reasons why. One, most people had no idea there was any problem with it at all. Most Americans had no idea that anyone thought it was bad in any other part of the world. Most people had no idea. Number 2, it was in almost everything. So the odds of you, and look, I don't think you should be giving your kids sweet cereals. I don't give my kids that, never have. However, if you want to, you may. I'm not here to stop you. You give your kids whatever you want. Lots of people love giving their kids sweet cereals. In fact, lots of adults actually, if I remember the stats right now, millennials actually eat most of the colorful breakfast cereals eaten by millennials now. Let them eat it. I don't care. They can eat if they want to, but they didn't even know it was bad. And if you like sweet cereals, you were eating red 40 because it was in everything. Now it won't be. So there we go. There's a difference. When something becomes ubiquitous, people don't know, it becomes the same as being unavoidable, or at least very hard to be avoided. So yes. Any case. So Phil says there are 2 types of people who are secure with baseball team and people who are at the Yankees. I'll accept that as true. Chrissy says, go Yankees. I accept that also as true. Both of those things are true. Yes. Jim Corn says, not to mention fluoride. Yes. Why the hell are we having fluoride there? Yes. Why are we having fluoride? Yes. Absolutely. So, Scientific said, went from 280 to 198. Holy cow, you lost more than me. I love that. That's amazing. I went from, my highest was 240. I'm now about 180. So, yeah, that is good. All righty. Let's see here. I'm looking over at Stray Dan. Stray Dan is over on Rumble. He says, ask Scientific how much red dye is in his cat food. Is he sure? Oh, I don't know. Scientific, Stray Dan ask you how much red dye is in your cat food. And are you sure? Do you have a cat? I don't even know if he has a cat. Or does he eat cat food? I don't know. I'm asking, Sai, because Stray Dan asked me to ask you. I don't know if you have a cat or not, or if there's red dye in it. Anyway, I don't know. So there we go. Chris says red dye number 40 is crushed up insects. They want you to eat the bugs. Oh, they want you to eat the bugs. That's right. You will eat the bugs. I remember that. You have to eat the bugs. I forgot that. Yeah. So anyway, Peace over on Rumble says, I'm at 147. Peace, you are down to nothing. You turn sideways. I can't see you, man. 147. Damn, okay. I'm gonna come down and visit you. Neighbors are commenting how good I look. I feel great. Keto is magic. Keto is magic. That's accurate. That's true. Keto is magic. Keto is magic. Yes. Keto's magic. That's accurate. I don't care what you say. You're all wrong. Keto's magic. Done. Magic powers. It's magic. It is true. All right, guys. I've asked you already if you could, excuse me, if you would please click the like button. I'm also going to do something else. Please share or repost it if you haven't already. Please share it someplace. Repost it someplace if you can. Don't forget you have to react to this in some way, shape, or form. Please also follow me, if you would, on Facebook, X, and Rumble. All of those matter. Lastly, what I always ask you is, remember, I need you to comment after the live. Once this live is over, please come back and comment. The algorithm loves it tremendously. So please come back and comment. And please, if you would, comment, if you would, on what do you think authoritarianism in America is growing or not, and why? Do you think it's growing or not, and why? That's what you please comment on after this live is over. And if this isn't live, when you're watching it, remember the 2 videos are going to pop up. Please click on one of them right away and watch for like about 8 minutes or so. I'll be on Monday, radio show and the evening show. So 2 shows on Monday. I'll see you all very soon.